Welcome to the Cashflow Project Podcast. Are you looking to better your financial situation by increasing your cash flow? Too busy to hunt for real estate deals or don't know where to start? Then you're in the right spot. Join us as we dive in and talk about investing for cash flow using multifamily real estate.
Welcome to the Cashflow Project Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Fieros with Tri-City Equity Group. Today we have Fabian Baez on the show. Fabian is the owner of Baez Holdings and is focused on helping investors get started in their journey down into real estate investing. He's an active real estate agent, working the East Coast, New York, New Jersey markets.
I used to be an agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his story about how now he's transitioned into helping investors get started in their journey down into the wonderful world of real estate investing.
Yeah,
Fabian,
absolutely. Welcome
to the show.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here with you guys. And yes, just to backtrack, if I may, my story was I was working many years ago I was working with a workforce development company in New York City, which is where I'm based. And, in 2010, we were coming out of that recession, but then it kind of caught up with me and I was downsized from a job and not knowing what to do, being more experienced with traditional jobs, so forth. I had to reinvent myself. I had to pivot, and it led me to real estate. And I realized that, especially after sending countless resumes, for anyone that's listening, if you've ever been through that, sending countless online applications for job interviews, so forth, and nothing materializing, I realized, this is obviously not working. I need to do something where I'm more in control of my future. I knew that real estate obviously is very important, especially when you're talking about housing and helping people find housing. And obviously, an attractive aspect of real estate is that the fact that since you're transacting property, there's the opportunity to make a substantial amount of profit. So I learned a little bit about real estate investing, wholesaling, flipping, so forth. But I doubted myself. I doubted my ability to do it. So what did I do? I saw investing like up here, not sure if I can get up there. Let me take a lower barrier of entry. Let me become a real estate salesperson. So I did that in 2015, got my real estate license, and I was working for a brokerage in Upper Manhattan where I'm based. And so obviously there in that dense area, most of my work was rentals, helping people with rentals. I was one of the top producing agents. Probably a couple months in, I was working for a small agency, and I learned it. And then I eventually also did a couple sales, helped someone buy a home, helped someone else buy an apartment. So I learned, but then I kept learning more about investing. But, for those if you're not a broker, and you're a real estate agent, you already know when you do a deal, if this is the deal, the broker's taking a percentage of it. If you're new, the broker may be taking more than half. So, but you're doing a lot of work to get to that point. So eventually I just kept working on just learning more about investing, speaking to different contacts, other realtors that are investor-friendly realtors, wholesalers, looking at deals, checking out markets, because I also knew that being in New York City, while it's not impossible, the price points of even a distressed property are a lot higher. So eventually I took the leap. I partnered with a relative of mine, with my brother, and we started looking into Paterson, New Jersey, which is roughly about a half hour from New York City. So we started there. In 2019, we got our first multifamily property. It was a 2-unit with a bonus space in the attic and basement. So kind of like officially an unofficial 4-unit. Don't tell anyone. You know what I mean? So we did that, and we financed it with hard money. So I just learned about all of this on the go. I still have my real estate license, but when we had that hard money loan and we were managing contractors and so forth, doing all that, working on a timeline, I shifted my focus on that and making sure that we were staying to a schedule, because it was not when we were fixing it to rent it out. But I was not on top of them, but just being very mindful, being very in the loop. I was project managing it to make sure and just learning, and so we eventually bought that property for about $160,000, refied it, did the cash out refi. It appraised at 270, and then like a little over a year later, we sold it for 360. So tenants in place and everything. And then I took that money, and then we did the same thing essentially, but for a 6 unit. So we graduated up to the commercial multifamily game, and now and we're still doing that, still looking at deals, still working on that and stabilizing the properties that we have. But now I want to take that knowledge and those actual case studies that I was a part of and now help brand new rental investors to break in the game on the residential multifamily side. Because, as you know, housing is an essential need, and you could do it where you could house hack and live in a multifamily and rent it out to tenants, to have tenants, people that you don't know, or family, friends. It can be a wealth builder. It actually can, or at the very least, it can definitely be, not to get too ahead of ourselves, a cash generator. Hence, term of cash flow creator. This ebook, it's a free ebook that anyone can get. All you got to do is just message me at my email, Fabian@FabianBaez.com, totally free. And it touches upon some of the basic things around getting started in multifamily investing.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it's a lot to unpack there. But I love how you took, being in an expensive market and kind of a tighter situation, and look to, okay, well, how can I, right? Looking for opportunities to kind of make it work. We're in similar markets. Our market here is very expensive as well. You're in New York. Manhattan, especially, like if you're working kind of those areas, and here in Honolulu, same kind of deal, right? These are two of the most expensive markets, in the U.S. So obviously very difficult, to find just your random, $100,000 cash flowing property. But I like your story because you found a way to make it work. Most people don't even try. Most people are like, well, it's too expensive here. I don't have the money. I can't do it. But it doesn't sound like that's what you did. It sounds like okay, well, let's take some action. Let me learn some other tools. Let me learn some ways to make this work. I don't have, all the resources. Okay, well, let me partner up. Let me go to, it sounds like, like that. You mentioned you're invested in an area that's a little bit a ways away from your home market, right? It's not in your backyard, but it's pretty close by. But like, how many people aren't willing to make that effort? Well, hey, I'll make the drive. Okay, where I can't buy in this immediate market, well, where can I buy? Where does it make sense? And I see it too often, too many times. So, and all of us have it, right? Where we have those limiting beliefs, well, we can't do that here, or that can't be done, or I can't do that for whatever reason. But I love the way that you fail forward, right? It's like, well, okay, I'm going to learn some new tricks and some new tools along the way to kind of make this happen. I know this is what I want to do. Right. Let's make it happen. Right.
And I'll tell you, and if I may, one thing is that, and like I said at the beginning, when I first learned about it, obviously at that point, internet, the Instagram, so forth, a lot of people on social media, a lot of people, real estate investors. So I started learning and buying courses and reading books and so forth, and consuming content on YouTube. And it was that self-limiting belief, like, damn, I don't know. I don't have the resources. I don't have a team. I don't have the money, this and that. And what I did was, as I became an agent, I also made connections with other investors, with wholesalers. So I was trying to also be in essence like a broker. Like, okay, Steve, I know that, let's say you're a big investor, you'll buy deals. Maybe I know Craig over here, who's a wholesaler. And hey, Steve, I know this guy, Craig, who has a good deal to wholesale. I'll try to put you guys together. So I'll try to do that and kind of like use the broker mentality of putting guys together. That also didn't work, but really I can tell you, and everyone's different, right? Everyone's different, because there's some people that they do driving for dollars. They'll strike gold right away. They'll find something and make money. For me, the biggest leap forward was, of course, being an agent, doing the deals, right? You eat what you kill, you put some money in your pocket. That was a big test, because it doesn't matter if you're in the office 7-8 hours, what deal have you closed? So, and coming from a job history, from that experience, where, you get paid by the hour, it was different. You got to hustle, but it was really taking the leap, understanding, okay, even a distressed 2-family in a tough area of the Bronx, I mean, it's probably going to be around $500,000, distressed. So I've had to venture out, and then it really, things started to change when I took that leap of faith and I started getting around other people and building a team, agents, investor friendly, realtors, so forth, who some of them are investors, contractors, so forth, attorneys, and just start working and looking into other markets, because it is what it is. And like I said, I'm in New York City, Patterson, New Jersey. It's about 30 minutes away. So it's not bad. You know what I mean? And it's not too far away. I believe in, if you're going to invest out of state and away from home, you want to keep it as close as possible so that in case of an emergency, you can get there quickly, unless you have like some really trusted people that are already there, boots on the ground. But even then, I recommend, I talk about this in the material, you want to, maybe keep it to an hour or less if you can, so that when you can get over there and do it quickly. So it can be done. It can be done.
You're touching on something there too, like being a residential agent. I see this frequently. I'm in touch with a ton of agents here locally. I was just having a conversation with somebody about this yesterday. A lot of the focus, because it is so, you kill what you eat, or you eat what you kill. A lot of agents get just hyper focused on the sales aspect of it. They're, working in the business, right? Which I absolutely understand, especially any kind of commission sales, based business. Hey, that's your focus has to be, on what you're working on. But what I see is a lot of agents kind of fall into that trap of like, okay, well, this is always going to be there. A lot of times, well, what I'll tell them, or I don't have to remind them or show them really, is that, eventually you don't want to have to be so hands-on. You're going to want to step away at some point, that business is, you're not going to want to have to chase that business for the next 20 years. You have to work on your own retirement. Nobody's going to do that for you. And it sounds like you kind of made that mode and that transition change into, okay, well, let's, let me meet some people who are, you mentioned investor friendly, who know that end of the business. And this is the great thing about real estate too. I mean, there's 1,000,001 ways to make money in real estate. All right. We're talking about a few different strategies in a few different ways. But I mean, there's so many opportunities out there, but you have to step out of your lane, step out of your comfort zone a little bit to kind of acknowledge that, hey, you know what? I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know, but let me start talking to some people who are doing it, who are out there kind of mixing it up, who have contacts, right? Let me learn what I can from them, and start applying that to my own, business, my own life, my own personal portfolio. That's so powerful. It should be a great message to, the agents that we have listening to the show. A lot of them are investing, or, maybe like that. They're kind of geared into where you're targeting, right? Where it's just like, all right, well, yeah, I want to help you. You're somebody, you don't know where to start. You want to get into multifamily. Obviously, everybody's, I see Grant Cardone or, whoever else has got this, massive portfolio and just really visible. It's like, okay, well, not everybody's in that position yet, right? You got to start somewhere. So yeah, house hacking, super powerful. Like you'd mentioned, just any which way that you can kind of start off in multifamily, even if it's on the residential side, to kind of get the wheels going, get that turning, Right. Now you mentioned earlier too, like, and this has always been huge for me, that mindset piece, right? Like how did you adopt that mindset? Because, for a lot of people, that's an insurmountable hurdle. But you had the kind of wherewithal, at least the boldness to want to say, hey, no, I need to learn this. I need to do things that are outside of my comfort zone. Where did you get that from? Like, how did that come from?
So what happened was that as an agent, as I mentioned earlier, you're in real estate, you're working for yourself, so to speak, under the roof of a broker. Mm. But you do all this work, you work with the clients, you get a deal done. You're keeping, depending, and I know there are different brokerages, different setups, but when you're getting, if it's 40%, 50%, 60%, and it's a big chunk that you're not getting, but you're doing the majority of the work. Is tough. And I just realized that even as an agent, you you're dependent on your clients, right? If you don't have clients, it's tough. And there's no, at least in my experience, there isn't a lot of loyalty. You put in this work, you're educating because a lot of, as you probably know, a lot of agents, a lot of brokers, a big part of their job is educating their clients on, listen, this is the situation. You need to be doing this to qualify for this apartment or to buy this property, so forth. Because you don't want to do all this work and set them up to fail and they can't get approved, to rent that apartment or to buy it. So I know a big part of my job was educating people. And I'll tell you a quick story. There was one day, this was in 2017, I hustled up to the Bronx to show an apartment that I had an exclusive listing on. This was for a rental. And I'm getting on the highway and I'm changing lanes to take an exit to get on the highway to get up to the property. And I get rear-ended. And luckily I was okay. But the rear of my car was significantly crushed in, but I was still able to drive. I pulled over, I assessed myself. I was okay, thank God. I texted my client because he was already up there waiting for me, or he was in the area. I texted him, I let him know, hey, listen, I just got into a car accident, but I'm on my way. He was kind of had like an attitude on the text, like, oh, because he's having to wait. So anyway, I exchanged contact information with the other drivers, took pictures, all this stuff, you know what I mean? Made sure I was okay, headed up there. He didn't want to see the apartment. He didn't like the area. We pivoted. I found another unit. So I'm over here. We're now in Inwood, Manhattan, which is the northernmost part of Manhattan, looking at another unit, trying to sell them on it. I'm here, in the back of my mind thinking about, geez, man, my car's messed up now in the rear. And needless to say, he passed on it. It didn't work out. And I was deflated because I was hustling to help someone. I was in a situation, I was a party to an accident, not my fault. I got rear-ended. And, it just goes to show, like, it just crystallized for me at that point, Steve, like, I need to do something where I'm more in control of the outcome. And that's where I really started to think I need to make a move on the investing side where I can control the situation, get a deal under contract, control it, control the outcome. And then, fast forward now, when you get that first rental property, you could be, we're here talking on this podcast, you're going out, you're doing this, you're exercising, you're reading, you're taking a course, whatever. You have that rental property over there, no matter what, it's cash flowing. First of the month is around the corner. Those folks, they got to pay their rent. So it's obviously you got to manage it, you got to take care of it, but it's like clockwork. So I just realized like I needed to be smarter with my time and my efforts. And that's where it really propelled me to cut the BS with the self-limiting beliefs. Let me focus in. How can I do this? How can I make this real and get this first property and make this change? Because being an agent can be great, but it's also it's tough. Sometimes you're really working, you're really grinding, and the returns may not always be there. In real estate, I think we'll all agree, real estate, agents, brokers, they provide a tremendous service, but they're not at the top of the food chain in terms of the earners and so forth. They play a part, but they're definitely not the top. So I wanted to kind of, ascend up the ladder and be more in control and have more of a say in my outcomes,
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like that, right? Like it's, hey, I got to cut the BS, right? Like effectively what you did was you took ownership, right? Yeah. And say, okay, look, like nobody's going to make this happen for me. Like I've got to take ownership of, my future, right? And just like you said, like, okay, well, I play a part, right? Like as on the agent side, leasing agent or sales and all that kind of stuff, like as a portion of it. But if I want to see a great future for myself, for my loved ones, like whoever, right? Like I gotta own that. That means I've got to get better. That means I've got to learn more, right? I got to get outside of my comfort zone, right? And we can continue to do that, right? Like we've scaled up personally, to quite a bit on the commercial side, and different facets of real estate. But this is the nice thing. I mean, you can have exponential growth. Like if you're willing to put in the time and the energy and the effort, it can grow really quickly. Your financial situation, how you're improving in your career, all of that can explode. I mean, it really is a indirect correlation to, the effort that, you get to put into the business. So that's awesome. And this is the benefit. This is what you're alluding to in terms of, hey, I want to have control. And in this instance, you can. You're the one. You're in the driver's seat now for your investing future, your financial future, and you've scaled up to how many units now? Because you have a couple of properties, right? Or a few properties.
12, it's 12 units across 2 small buildings. Yeah, so looking to do more. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and see, like that, even having 12 units, for a lot of people, and I know for me, even just buying that first house, like that's a milestone, right?
It's huge. It's huge. When you do it and you cross that line now, you become an owner, you're an investor. I mean, there's no better feeling, in a real estate game, because now you're in control of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And it can snowball too, right? Like I said, pretty quickly. You go from that 1 to 4 to, okay, well, now I need to scale more. Let's do more. Now you're up to 10 and then 50. And, now, like for us personally, we're over 500 at this point and still just getting started. That's small. And like I said, I think for most people, it's just get your foot in the door, just get going, get some momentum going, and you'll see the benefit of it and you'll want to do more. So that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love your fail forward, the take ownership component of it. I think a lot of people don't want to do that. Hey, well, I'm waiting for the government to solve my problems, right? I'm waiting for that another stimulus check. I'm waiting for, the bailout or whatever, to take care of what needs to happen in my life and my No. That's what I said. I like, and maybe this is the New York aspect of it, but it's like, no, just cut that BS. I got to own it. I got to own it. I got to make it happen. Yeah. There's things that I can do. What can I do? Yeah, I love that. Right. Well, we have I know you mentioned I saw you're going to be speaking at a conference coming up. Is that right?
Right. So speaking at a conference in New Jersey, it's going to be June 25th, and it's going to be dealing with multifamily. So looking forward to sharing similar information here for tailored to the brand new investor that's looking to break into residential multifamily and beyond.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
well,
I'm also,
go ahead.
Yeah, and also, as I mentioned, the eBook, which you can get for free, Fabian at fabianbaez.com. I also have a course that teaches this and goes into more in depth what we cover in the book. A lot of the stuff that I talk about, but more in depth. It's like over 6 hours of content, 20 plus lessons, video lessons. And I take my first deal and I break it down from beginning, how we got it, and also other aspects of how to find deals, all the way through financing, rehabbing, management, leasing, all of that, refinancing, eventually selling it. And the whole course is a case study using that first deal and just breaking it down for the brand new, so-called regular person that's looking to get in the game. So if anyone is looking at this and you have any questions regarding that course, or there's may also be a one-on-one coaching component for those that are interested in qualify, you can email me, Fabian at fabianbaez.com, and let me know that you heard me on this great podcast, and love to speak with you about that.
Awesome. Well, as we kind of transition to the next portion of the show. We usually have every episode we've got a kind of a fire round where it's just, I'll ask you some questions here, and it's first thing that comes to your mind, just so we can get the audience can know you even a little bit more. Okay. And of course, if they want to connect with you individually, you definitely can. We'll make sure we leave the links down in the show notes for the listeners. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right. What is the best book that you recommend other than Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Best book that I recommend.
And your own.
Right. Yeah. No. I got a lot of lessons that comes to mind immediately. The Go Giver. Go Giver was a great book. I love that book. Yeah.
Definitely a good book. Yep. I like that one. And it sounds like you're living that out too, which is great.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. What's your superpower? What do you consider your superpower in life, in business?
Being able to effectively communicate with other people and just make sure that we're clear on the same page.
Yeah, no, that's very, very important. Yeah. Clear expectations, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Super good. All right. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned over your career thus far, I suppose?
Yeah, I would say definitely make sure that you're aware of all the aspects. Don't just assume that someone in this department is taking care of it. Make sure that you're following up, and that it may come across like you're micromanaging, like I'm saying that, but at least that if you have questions, ask and make sure. Oh no, don't just take the approach. Oh no, so and so is handling that. Find out. Make sure that you have your finger on the pulse of things so that you're aware.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, keep your finger on the pulse. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. And then for the busy working professional, working towards financial freedom, what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, this is awesome because I'm speaking to this audience also. There's people that, hey, carve out time. I was for example, where you have a weekend, let's say maybe you get off work Friday a little early or whatever. You call that realtor, hey, Joe, can we go see that unit? Can we go see that property this evening or tomorrow morning? Make time to work on the things that you need to work on. If you want to write a book, make time, make time in the evenings when you're off, on a lunch break, whatever, little downtime. Make time to always learn more and take action towards achieving what you want.
No, I like that. I really like that. Again, I think a lot of what I've heard from, our time together here is the ownership piece. It's like that. Yeah. You have to be the one that's intentional about making that time, right? Okay, look, I can't just expect, if I'm just going to show up 9 to 5, I'm going to get 9 to 5 results. And for most people, 9 to 5 results aren't good enough. They're not going to be satisfied with that, especially long term. So it's like, you got to make time, be intentional about what you're trying to do. We're together here on a Saturday, taking time, away from, our families or business, that kind of stuff, because we're trying to get better. Right. Yeah. Anybody listening to this podcast, same thing, right? They're trying to get better. So all the listeners, you're making the right steps, taking the time out of your day to come and get better and to learn more and hopefully something resonates with you. So, well, I know you've mentioned a couple of times already before, but for the audience, how can they get in touch with you if they're there locally, if they're at a distance, they want to get learn a little bit more about you, how can they, what's the best way? I know you mentioned some ways earlier, but what are the best ways for them?
So besides the email here, make sure you message me and so you can get your free ebook. You can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is Mr. F. Baez, and you can reach out to me there as well. I'm active there. And like I said, look forward to connecting with people that you're great listeners here on this podcast. And I want to thank you, and make sure that any goals that you have, anything that you want to achieve, and this is what I had to do: find people that are doing that and learn from them, and then take action. Right? It's not enough to learn. Like I want you to pick up this book. It's free. You'll learn some things, but then take action. Reach out to something that everyone can do. In every market, what do you have? You have a RIA. You have a real estate investor meetup. Maybe if not right in the market, maybe close to it. Go meet other people that are doing real estate, that are interested in real estate. Start networking. Start building some contacts. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to get some pointers. You're going to get some things that will give you some direction. Everyone can do that. Those are usually free to attend, or usually a very small cost, if any. And they're usually, on a regular basis, because real estate is such a popular topic. It's such a huge industry with so many sectors, as you mentioned. Everyone can do that, and just start learning, and then take action. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think that's a clear takeaway from this episode. Is just, again, take ownership, go out and take action. If you want to see something better happen in your life, you got to get better, right? You got to be better. And there's things that you can do. And this is, Fabian's doing a great job of, being an available resource, there in his local market, of course, but, nationwide, because that's the wonderful thing about technology and the internet now, right? We're thousands of miles away from each other, even in this moment, but we can come together to help our listeners and help anybody that wants to get better. So awesome. Well, thanks so much for, coming on today on the show with us. And like I said, I know the listeners got some value out of that. And we're we're excited to, to connect with you guys and everybody's on their journey. And so we want to see everybody succeed. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Fabian, for coming on with us. Make sure you're going on to his, hitting him up for, his ebook. He's going to be speaking at a conference I know coming up. I'm not sure if our episode's going to drop before then, but you can make a quick plug for that one. I know that's going to be coming up later in the month, right? So
yeah, June 25th. If guys are listening, you can go to CRE Live Mastermind, CRE Live Mastermind for tickets. It's going to be a power-packed day of presentation. So, hopefully you guys can, if you check this out beforehand, you can take a look at that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Fabian. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your day. But thanks again for hopping on with us, and we go out and take some more action. Yeah. Well, next time I talk to you, I want to see. No, I got 30 units or 50. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, right. Thank you for having me, Steve. I appreciate it. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks so much. Aloha. Oh, what a great episode with Fabian Baez up in New York, helping investors get started in small multifamily, get started on their journey. So key takeaways from, my time spent talking with Fabian. I love his ownership piece. He wasn't satisfied with what he was getting in his kind of day-to-day, just everyday grind. Wanted to get better. So, didn't wait around, didn't sit around, waiting for somebody else to make that happen for him. He went out, took action, started networking, learning, reading, and then now he's helping other people to, in their journey. Once he got some traction, got some success, he's obviously put out his ebook and, wants to help other people get started there, in real estate as well. So yeah, I love that the ownership piece. That's something that I share with him personally. So in terms of taking ownership and wanting to get better, and hopefully you guys take something away from that as well. Part of speaking of that, of course, we've got our conference coming up in July 21st to the 24th out here at the beautiful Four Seasons Resort out in Kolina on Oahu. This is our inaugural conference. So super excited. You want to come out and network with other investors, like-minded people who are trying to get better themselves or looking to scale up their business, their real estate portfolio, or just looking to get started. Great way to connect with people that are going to have that shared common mindset. All right, you can go to, we just sold out of all of our VIP tickets. So if you're interested in VIP, sorry, it's sold out, but we do still have general admission available. So go ahead and make sure that you're hopping on. Go check out the site, www.millionairebmindsetblueprint.com to learn more, to go ahead and get your tickets. If you're not able to attend, and we have a lot of servicemen and servicewomen that listen to are fans of the show, that are in our network. You can also donate tickets as well. So if you're not able to make it, for whatever reason, but you want to help somebody else get tickets to the show, get access to get better, you can definitely do that as well. So feel free to reach out to our team. We'd love to be able to help them out. And if you're interested in investing with us, go to tricityequity.com to learn more, connect with like-minded investors. And you're here locally with us, or even if you're not, go ahead and jump and join our Facebook group, Honolulu Multifamily and more. We have monthly networking meetings, and we also do them by Zoom as well. So if you're not local, you can still connect with us. You can still join us. And we've got investors that are here locally on the mainland, even international. So you'll connect with somebody there and be able to take away some knowledge. And if you found value, of course, in this podcast, please subscribe, give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you know of anybody who might resonate with today's message, please make sure to share the episode with them. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll see you next time. Aloha.